Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Have At It, episode 7 here on the Ben Zone Facebook group, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm Ben Cornett, and how's it going tonight? Tonight, we're going to discuss the conference championship games. We're down to the final four. But before we do that, let me introduce a guest of mine here tonight on the show. He is on the NFL edition with me every Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Dean. Johnny, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. So you ready for this weekend? You ready for Sunday? Two great games.
Yes, I am. They
No.
might overexcite me a little bit, man. These two games are looking to be some of the best matchups all year.
Yes, I think the four best teams are here, Johnny.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's not waste any time. Let's get started with this conversation here. So, as you can see, these are the final four teams. You got, three very good quarterbacks and Brock Purdy. No offense to him, but he's still a rookie. Understandable. But let's start with the Philly Niners game, man. I think we got the two best defenses in the NFL. Not the NFC, but the NFL.
Yeah.
You see this very low scoring. We could have
I would throw the Bengals in there too with that defense. I think it's the three best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are not a bad defense, but as for those three, that they're like the oddball out, man.
Kind of the least of the four, yeah. So this is going to be an interesting game. Like I said, I think this is low scoring, both the Niners and
Sean.
Eagles. We'll get to that in a minute. We got a rookie in Brock Purdy. He's not played like one, but now he's got to go on the road. He's got to go in a different environment. Philly's a tough place to play. It's going to be very loud. I don't think he's really experienced. If I remember correctly, he's only played a couple of road games because the Niners
he played Seattle. He's used to loud, and the Kansas City, San Francisco travels very well. We know that, like Green Bay does, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's going to get to him too much. I really don't.
Maybe not. I could see that. He does have a great offensive line. Trent Williams, McClinsky. Those are probably
and that's the best offensive line in football right there, man.
Yeah. You could definitely say that for sure.
And the Eagles are great offensive line.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why it makes this matchup so good, man.
Yeah, that's why I think this is low scoring. I think, because you got two great defenses too. This is what I loved. Me and you, we're offensive line guys. We're fans of the meat. It'd be a battle between those two defenses and offensive lines. Which one wins out? I still think both teams got great running backs. A great running back duo. You got McCaffrey. You got Mitchell for the Niners. You got Boston Scott and Miles Sanders. I mean, those are some good.
Boston Scott come on lately or what, man?
Hasn't he?
I mean, he's so erratic usually during the season. I mean, the last 2 years he's been like, he's not one of the guys you really want to draft in your fantasy league, right? But he's come on lately, man, hard.
Absolutely. Again, he's a good durable backup. He's going to give you some yards. He's going to, make some key plays. I still think the Niners have a little bit of an advantage in the run game. Because McCaffrey is a great running back, as we know. Elijah Mitchell, just as good. But for Philly, not bad. Receiving wise, you got Ayuk, you got Debo. And really, Debo's a running back, wide receiver, hybrid. The Eagles, not bad in the wide receiver department as well. So I'll tell you, I think these are the most two evenly matched teams in the NFL right now. I'm going with the Niners. I still think they're going to pull this one out. I know Philly's favored, but I still like the Niners for some. I got a feeling.
I like the Niners because they don't get out of their game. Nothing takes them out of their game. They play their game and they beat you down. They wear you out. By the second half, it's theirs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they do got some secret weapons there too. George Kittle should not be a secret weapon. You know what I mean? But
I
then
think
they got Brandon Ayuk there, and that's a secret weapon. If
oh,
you focus on Kittle, you're going to get hurt by Ayuk, man.
yeah, he kind of reminds us of Godwin, Chris Godwin, Ayuk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great slot runner. A
His
slot
route
route.
crisp, man. He's got some nice routes, man.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I mean, very underrated. Um, yeah, yeah. The Niners, they got to run the ball. So that sets up the rest of their offense. They do that. I think they're going to win this game.
Me too.
Yeah, and
I know everybody likes to jump on the blowout and stuff, and the Eagles had that blowout, just like Dallas had that blowout the week before they played the 49ers, right? And that gets everybody hyped up on the Eagles. But just because the Eagles can go to a blowout and then have a struggle the next game is this San Francisco's consistent across the board, man. They're always consistent.
well, and look at last week. I mean, they took on Dallas, and Dallas, their defense showed up. Let's make no mistake about it. The offense didn't. Their defense did. So it kept them in the game. They wore down the Niners a little bit, and you wonder that wear down. Could that be? Could they be a little bit affected by that? They had one less day off than Philly. Then they got to travel across country. So we'll see how that turns out. But they're definitely going to be ready to play. The Eagles are definitely going to be ready to play. They're very confident right now.
Yeah, they're flying. They're flying high.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts. I mean, look, I was wrong. I didn't think Jalen Hurts was going to be a great quarterback in this. I thought he'd be good, but not great. Right now, he's going
I had high expectations for him. I didn't have this high expectations for him right now, but I did have high expectations for him.
Okay.
I actually had my boy in San Diego, damn it.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert, thank you. I had him ranked higher when we were doing the drafts and stuff than Hurts, but I still think he's a better all-around quarterback. I just don't think he's got the right offensive scheme and all the weapons. Hurts got weapons around him, man.
Oh yeah.
But we've seen that it is Hurts. Hurts makes the difference on that team. You can put other quarterbacks in it, and they don't do what Hurts can do. They don't get the wins like Hurts does. So,
well, and it's because and the one thing he does have an advantage of, he's played at Alabama, he's played at Oklahoma, he's been in these big games, so nothing really phases him. He's got a quiet confidence about himself, doesn't take himself too seriously. He just plays within the game. The offense, like you said, it fits him like a glove.
Is this a segue to Joe Burrow? Because there's nothing that rocks him, man. Nothing rocks Joe Burrow. He's Joe.
Well, no, that's true. Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow.
His demeanor reminds me of some greats like Montana. Tell me, Montana in a big game was at home, and I think that's where Joe Burrow lives.
Yeah, I mean, he went into Buffalo, and we're going to talk about him a little bit, but he went into Buffalo like it was nothing. Like, okay, snow.
I didn't mean to do that to transition over, but
get that snow out of my face. I got a ball to throw to T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. Come on.
We had that same snowstorm here at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they were playing in that shit, man. I've played in snow before, but that shit was ridiculous that day, man.
He's Joe Burrow. What can you say? Right. But back to the Niners and Eagles. I'm going Niners. I'm going to go 20-17. I think it's going to be a close game. Johnny, what's your score on this?
Niners, Eagles. I think it's going to be really close. But I'm going Niners by 7.
Oh,
and it's going to be a last quarter drive by the Eagles that fails, or there's going to be an interception thrown or something, and it'll be because that defense is going to win the game. It's all defense. It's like, all right, I don't want to bring it back to Bucks, but I'm going to bring it back to Bucks again. It's like the Buccaneers with Warren Sapp. If you keep it close, we'll win it at the end, and that's exactly how 49ers have been playing all friggin' year long.
Wouldn't it be something if you seen a Niner intercept the ball like Rondé did 20 years ago?
Oh, man.
Wouldn't that be something?
Fred Warner. Even though Fred Warner's Levante David's biggest competition right now, I'd still love to see Fred Warner do it, light it up, win that game. You know what I mean?
He could. Him and Greenlaw are great lineup.
Yeah, Greenlaw too. Yeah.
Oh, and Philly with Hassan Reddick. I mean, they got a great linebacking.
They do, man.
They're evenly matched. They're just too evenly matched.
And look what they did with one draft.
Yeah.
Last year's draft is what pushed them over the top.
Right. Exactly. And they got more picks this year.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Scary team this year, man.
Jalen Hurts' rookie contract doesn't end until after 2023. Think about that.
They got a run to go. That's the same as Burrows, though. Their rookie contracts are about the same, right?
Oh, Joe's gonna break the bank soon, man.
Although Hurts had a extra year playing because Burrow was out with that injury. So
that's true. Yeah, but Burrow
got to the Super Bowl first.
Yeah, yes, he did. Oh, you're gonna get to another one this year. All right, let's read some of the comments. Sean Spencer says, "What's up, Ben? Sean, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, man." And he says, "What's up, Johnny?" Sean.
What's up, Sean?
And Sean Spencer is like, "You guys ready to end up with SF versus Central?"
Yes, I am.
Yeah, me too. Let's
Volume 3.
Volume 3, yes. And our resident commenter, Mr. Scott Thaler. No one told me you were on. Well, we're on every Friday.
I told you about the other show and you didn't show up. So why would I bother about this one, man? You didn't show up on the earlier one tonight.
Sean, Ben, and Johnny are up. Yep, we're up. Scott Thaler says Eagles 31, Niners 21. That's kind of a high score. I expected it to be a little bit lower, but scoring wise. But
you're not going to beat it. If the Eagles beat the Niners by 10 points, then the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
I could see that.
Because the Niners have the best defense in the league, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. Odette says hi. Odette Besson, thank you for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. All right. Well, Johnny, let's kick it off to another game, our afternoon game, the Bengals and Chiefs. This one I'm really looking forward to because, like I said, I love watching Joe Burrow play. Hell, I like watching Patrick Mahomes play.
Will you go 4-0 or will it be 3-1?
I know Joe's got a Mr. Mahomes number, man. It's like pretty soon.
He played in the same exact game last year and won. So it's not. That's another reason you talk about Arrowhead. Arrowhead is a non-factor in this because all the games that Joe's beat them has been in Arrowhead.
Oh, that's right. Well, no, he beat him once in Cincinnati earlier this year.
Oh, earlier this year. Okay.
But the other two you're talking about, yeah. Kansas City.
One of those was an AFC Championship game last year, so it's new to him.
No, and I don't expect Joe to be phased here. I mean, he's going to go in there hella confident. But again, we saw the injury report today. Kappa and Jonah Williams are out again. They've been listed as out. So
I'm not as worried about that as I would have been before last week.
Right? Yeah,
those guys, they have one amazing offensive line coach. They got to take your hat off to them, man. They got an amazing line coach.
Absolutely.
Can't remember his name, Capos or something like that, but he is amazing, dude.
Yeah. And so Jackson Carman and Max Sharping are going to take those guys' place this week. They played very well last week.
Yes, they did.
I mean, it's like you said, Johnny. They got a very good offensive line coach. They know what they're doing.
And they have Burrow, who played with worse. He had a horrible offensive line last year. So,
Yeah, I know, right? And, they got a great running game. Joe Mixon, Penrine, I should say, sorry. They got Jamar Chase, Pirine, thank you. Tyler Boyd. They got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. They got an embarrassment of riches as far as offensive weapons goes. And, Kansas City's a little different this year. Let's remember that when, now that they don't have, Tyreek Hill, they're going with Juju. They're going with Valdez-Scantling. They still got Kelsey. And they still got
Kelsey is still their go-to guy. I mean, if you take Kelsey out, you can beat them. That's how we beat them, really. Levante David just handled Kelsey all that game.
Yeah, and I thought, we just tore up their offensive line, our defensive, via that year. Sue, we tore that offensive line up. Got to Mahomes. He could not get anything going on that. So the Chiefs. It's amazing what Mahomes has done um without Hill. It's made him a better quarterback, I think. Now that he
It
has to
makes him it
use
makes him go through his progressions a lot more.
right, but it's also made him a better quarterback, in my opinion, because now he can use all his weapons. He doesn't have to rely on
Well,
one
yeah,
guy.
because he has that's what I was talking basically getting at is he has to go through his
Right.
progressions now, and so
Right.
he's just saying, "Oh, wow, this guy's open. I didn't know that," you know? Before he
Yes,
wouldn't have even bothered, he'd have just went straight to throw downfield to to Hill.
exactly. So, I mean, and once
It
again,
still hamstrings him because his passing yards in the air has come way down since Hill's been gone. So there's that's an advantage to the defense because they know pretty much where his range is at right now. You know?
yeah, at least for right now. But I,
Yeah.
I still think the Chiefs are a dangerous offense with or without
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah.
So the Bengals are definitely going to have to be on their A game to, try and slow down that offense. Yeah, and you know what Jacksonville did last week to a degree. The turnovers hurt Jacksonville, is what it did. And the inexperience. That's when the turnovers came in, was with the inexperience. So, Kansas City can be beaten, and we'll see how Mahomes does with that, ankle. So, with that being
Well, the
said,
one thing that makes me worry oh, that's 49ers game. Never mind.
well, no, go ahead.
I had a flashback to a 49. The Eagles on defense have two coordinators, assistant coaches
Mhm.
that have played with Purdy in college that
Yeah,
know him really well. So
that.
there's gonna be that point where he's gonna go to one of his tendencies and they're gonna see it. Now, how Shanahan covers that up or whatever. I mean, I'm like with the guy the with Keenan McCardle, he's
Yeah,
helped he's helped Trey Lance. I mean, Trevor Lawrence become a better quarterback just because the schemes that they're running, those routes that they're running, they're keeping them
right.
away from what Trevor Lance's weaknesses are. So the same can be said over there, you know. Now, what Shanahan does to counter that, we'll have to see then.
Well, and if anybody can counter that, it's certainly Kyle Shanahan. He's
Right,
one of the best
right.
offensive
Well,
coordinators in the
yeah,
game. Yep.
not Salah, but I can't remember D'Amico Ryan's.
Well, real quick, speaking of D'Amico, he may be becoming the new head coach of the Texans. He's pretty much the favorite right now. So,
What
I don't.
another 1 year higher by the racist ass Texans owner?
I mean, I'm happy for D'Amico. I think he deserves it. But yeah,
I'm happy for him his opportunity to be a head coach. I'm not happy for the situation he'd be going into there.
no, it'd be a very tough situation. You're right, and hopefully they give him time.
Not with the team itself, but with the owner. I think D'Amico Ryans can do wonders with it. They've already got an awesome defense right now.
They do. Lovey really did a good job with that
Yes,
defense
good.
this year. Even though they didn't win many games, I mean, they stayed in a lot of games, especially down the stretch. They were able to get wins at Tennessee.
Yep.
They went to overtime with Kansas City, and they beat Indianapolis. So they won like 2 of their final 3 games. I mean,
Yeah, and they were in most of their games. They were in most of their later games after like week 6 or so. They were in almost every one of those games.
right.
So
Yeah. So anyway, as soon as the playoffs are over, I'm sure D'Amico will probably get the head coaching job. They said he's the favorite. So we talk real quick about any other news, on the coaches right now. Denver, it seems like Sean Payton's pretty much taking his name out of the running. Is it fair to say that he's going back to the booth next year?
I don't know yet. I really you really can't tell until after the Super Bowl. That's
Mhm.
when the coaching hires really come firing away, you know. But it seems that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sean deep down kind of wanted that one of the LA jobs, the Rams or the Chargers, and it just didn't turn out that way. McVay came back, and they're going to keep Staley. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
they're going to give him another chance. They fired his staff, so he's got.
yeah.
but Frank Reich did get the job in Carolina.
Yep.
Congratulations to him. I think he'll do good there. He's a
Steve
good
Wilkes.
coach.
It was Steve Wilkes. I think I saw. See, Steve Wilkes was rumored to be coming as being looked at as OC coordinator here with Tampa.
Oh, okay. I know we've been interviewing. We interviewed one of Cincinnati's guys today, right? I think it was Dan Pitcher. Is that the name?
Pitcher, yeah.
The wide receivers coach.
Yep.
We did.
I really would like McCardle there here. Not just because I do like McCardle. He was one of my favorite players. I liked him far above Keyshawn Johnson when he was there.
Yeah,
I was really irritated with the Keyshawn Johnson hire ever since Warren Sapp saw him at the Pro Bowl, brought him in, and then when he gets here, he thinks he's too good to fucking work out for us and shit. You know what I mean? And hit practices, and Warren had to jump in his butt to get him to work.
Yeah, those were the days. What's a shame is Warren Sapp should be on a coaching staff somewhere.
He has that ability. I don't think he has that discipline to just keep going out there every day and doing the grind. I don't think
that discipline.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But he's a smart mind. This guy knows his defense. I think anybody that
does. That's a fact.
Listens to him should. And
what he did improve Gerald McCoy's abilities. He did 100%. Gerald McCoy was tearing his pec every 5 minutes, before Warren Sapp got in there and taught him techniques. Punch technique in Florence was amazing. That was a good technique too.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people know it, but very few can do it the way the Warren and a few others did. The preacher wasn't.
Ray Lewis.
No, the preacher, defensive.
Oh, Reggie White.
Reggie White, thank you. Yeah. Reggie White was really good at that shit, man.
Oh, Reggie was one of the best ever, man.
Just coming out of Reggie, though, man, you don't expect that violence like that, man. He was a violent player.
He turned it up 180.
Yeah.
When he was home, great family man, nice guy, lovable guy.
And in the streets, if you met him in the streets, he would be hang out with you, talk with you for a few minutes, and go about his business,
When the uniform's on, the helmet's on, that's a mean MFer right there.
I met Mean Joe Green, and that Mean Joe was 100% appropriate for him. He was a nasty man. He was mean. He's scary. He was like Debo on the Friday.
Oh yeah.
He was always
like,
no, don't take my car, please.
You got my money, Craig? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Scott says that's his prediction. Fair enough. We'll see what happens, but
he's just going opposite of us.
Is that what he's doing? No.
Yeah, that's what he does. He likes to dig at you a little bit. He is a Chiefs fan, although he says he's a Rams fan, so I don't know the connection.
Well, it's a Missouri connection, he's holding on to that. And we both agree they should be in St. Louis right now, and they shouldn't be in LA. But
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Chris, I would support them a lot more if they were in LA. I would.
Yeah. Chris Cole says, "Hey guys, Chris, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it tonight. How you doing?" Oh man. So, we got to get to our prediction on we know who we're picking, but why don't you say the Bengals or Chiefs? Who do you like in this game?
That could go so friggin'. It can go close or it can be a blowout, and both teams could do it. Both teams have the ability to blow the other out or have a close game with the other one. That's what makes this game so interesting and shit.
I think it's going to be more fun than the other game.
I think this game, the Bengals are a more well-rounded team, and that sounds funny considering they got 3 linemen that have got 2 game experience, right? But it is. It's the coaching staff. I like Zach Taylor. I like whatever that offensive coordinator's name is, man. I can't remember, but he puts on a job with that show. The defense. I've always liked the Ravens, the AFC North trenches. That's something you can't get away from. The trenches in the AFC North are just tougher than everybody else.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make it a close game and say by 4 points, Bengals.
Gotcha.
I ain't going to give an actual score because that's just ridiculous. I'm just going to say it's a 4-point game.
Fair enough. I'm going Bengals by a touchdown.
Yeah,
I,
basically.
I mean, I think they will. Again, the one thing we talked about too, Johnny, is our team. The one thing the Bengals have that we didn't: depth,
Yeah,
offensive line depth,
yeah, yeah.
and development. Something we didn't have this year that really affected the Bucks. And a lot of other things that
They
did.
did not look at this year and see the deficiencies in that offensive line, the depth of this team, the trenches, period. I mean,
Yes.
we got a little bit better depth on defense than we do
Mhm.
on offense, but
Yeah,
still, it needs to be built on both sides in the trenches. You win your games in the trenches. We got skill players that could go out there and ball out if they have the trenches solidified.
absolutely. Yep. That's what it's all about, man. And it's all about the meat.
Yep.
And Christopher Cole says, I would like to see a rematch of the 89 Super Bowl. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not just picking it because I want to see. I do want to see the Niners and Bengals, but I just feel like these two teams they can go on the road and win a big game in the playoffs. They have that capability to do it, especially defensively. That's what they say, defense wins championships.
I
So,
think you had the Bengals winning, didn't you? I have the 49ers winning in the
yes.
Super Bowl matchup. Yeah.
Yes, I think are we the only two left in our on our Super Bowl picks?
I
We're the last two standing?
I think so. Everybody else switched to what the same thing we picked or early on, but this is the Super Bowl I imagined going into the playoffs. You know what I mean? I knew the Bucks weren't going to go nowhere. You can't look at that team all year long and think, "Oh my God, they're going to magically come in and be a Super Bowl team." No, that don't happen, man, like that.
Absolutely. Um, the Bengals, man. I just got to tell you, I just seeing that game against Buffalo, and I know Buffalo has some deficiencies. Josh Allen obviously needs to be better at quarterback in big games,
Same with
but
Dak Prescott, man. I've said it all year long. Those two guys have been throwing way too many interceptions. They've been turning the ball over too much, man.
I still got more promise in Josh than I do Dak. I think this is the best you're going to get out of Dak Prescott. I really do.
And Josh led the league in interceptions.
He did. He had 16. I know, and he had 2 in the Miami game, and he had
That's
1
not
in
counting the turnovers themselves, the
no,
fumbles.
that's just picks. Yes, that's
That's
just
just the picks. Yeah.
but that was a lot of it's because of Brian Dable not being there anymore. He went to the Giants, and look what he did with Daniel Jones. Made him look like a
That's my Cinderella team of the year right there. I think what the Giants did this year, I don't care if they got blowed out or not in that last game. What they did, they needed some recognition for the improvements they made.
agreed. Agreed. I mean, he did a lot of great things for Daniel Jones. He made the playbook, designed it for his abilities. That's what makes a good coach, a good coordinator. They know how to scheme for their type of players. And Daniel Jones looks really good. Now, I'm not saying he's going to
He
get
made Daniel Jones look like a real quarterback.
right. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to become a great, he's not going to be an elite quarterback. He never will be. But, when you have
Well,
the right coach and the right
when
system.
has the Giants ever had a really elite quarterback? And don't say Phil Simms. he played
No, I
within
mean, the
his
closest thing was
imperfect
Eli Manning.
ourselves, yeah.
It was Eli
But
Manning.
yeah, it's if you get the guy that you want to fit the scheme to your program, then you can go without an elite quarterback and win Super Bowls. It just we
Right.
saw Phil do it. We saw Eli beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl.
Twice. Twice.
Twice.
Beat the GOAT twice. Hell, Jeff Hostetler beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Phil got injured, but still, you don't need it. Now, it's great to have an elite quarterback. You want one.
It's nice. It makes it easier on your offensive line. It makes it easier
Right.
on your skill guys because they can depend on where everything's going to work
A la
out.
Joe Burrow. Yeah. I mean, man, they hit gold. I thought, a few years ago when they drafted Jamar Chase, I'm like, what are you doing? You need an offensive line. But
That
they said
connection
no,
works, man.
the connection works. And geez, they're
We don't
2
need an
points away
offensive
from winning.
line. We got Joe Burrow out here, man. I was
Yes.
like, yeah, see what happened to him first year? Oh, wait a minute. The second year came along and everybody was waiting for that. And then he just kept going and going and going and going and going right straight to the Super Bowl. I was like, holy shit. Actually, his first year, because he had no previous year because of the injury. So this guy went to a Super Bowl with a team with no offensive lineman and took them to a Super Bowl. I don't think that's ever been done before, dude.
Well, you know what's even more impressive, Johnny? He won 2 road games to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How about that? You go into Tennessee, great defense, not a good quarterback, but then you go to Kansas City last year, do the same thing. I mean, he's just going to get better. You know, this he hasn't even scratched the itch yet. You know, he is going to be just getting better and better as the years go on. And I mean, we had our Brady Manning generation. You know, that decade. This is now the Burrow Mahomes decade.
I just don't want it to be like a Flacco thing because Flacco, when he went to the playoffs, he went through the gauntlet of giants. He went through Manning, he went through Brady, he went through every friggin' buddy to get to the Super Bowl and win, right?
Right.
So I don't want it to be like Flacco, and then he goes up there and does it. Well, it's already not like Flacco because he's doing it 2 years in a row. So
yeah. But you know what's nice though is now you got Trevor Lawrence. He's going to get better. Justin Herbert, if he can get the right offensive coordinator, right guy.
I'm afraid he's going to get ruined there, man. Because another thing, because the Chargers don't like to put money in there.
No. Oh, look at this. Good comment here. Are y'all ready for the USFL to start? Yeah. After the Super Bowl.
Without a Bandits in there, it's going to be kind of hard for me to get really excited. But yeah, we got some stuff with the NFL edition. We're going to do some stuff with the Shady Sports Network and do some
nice.
USFL and off-season spring football, XFL, USFL, all that stuff. So
USFL was fun to watch last year, Johnny. I mean,
it was.
You know,
broke my heart. The Bandits suck so bad. And then it broke my heart again that they're not even going to be a fucking Tampa team now.
So they're Orlando, what were they? The Orlando something?
I guess. I don't even know if that's the Bandits team. I haven't really checked into it because we've been still, you know, it's the playoffs and we've been fine.
Right. Yeah.
And I've been working on the entertainment stuff. So,
yeah. By the way, check that out, guys. Johnny's got an entertainment show. We're gonna put that on the Ben Zone as well. I'll probably be joining an episode or two. You know, so check us out. We've got some good stuff. When do you think you're gonna have one of these shows to? Do
right now I'm working for the spring. That way it makes it easier on any of you guys that are going to guest host with me in the same time slot as NFL Edition on Thursday nights. Because in the springtime, a little bit later on this season, we're going to start going every other week for the NFL Edition. And we'll do more breakdowns and more actual football talk and more of the coaching hires and stuff like that. And we'll break out breaking news, of course, if anything breaks. But for the most part, we're just going to be covering 2 weeks at a time with the NFL Edition. And then we'll be doing because, you know, you got the big summer blockbusters and stuff for entertainment and shit. And all the big shows and all the WrestleMania things going and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing more of that on the Thursday night show.
Awesome. Training camps. We got Olga's in the house.
Hey, Olga, how you doing?
Olga, she is a diehard Bucks fan.
She is a sweetheart. You should meet her, man. She's one of the best people I've ever met in my life, man.
Absolutely. She's just down to earth. She loves the Bucks. She loves everybody. So thanks for tuning in, Olga. I appreciate it.
She was actually one of my friends before I even did the football stuff. I rode bikes a lot, you know, so I was doing a lot of biker stuff. And that's when Olga first met was way back then.
Nice.
She's a biker girl.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. That's awesome, man. Oh man. So what else is going on around the league? I mean, anything you want to dive into? Anything else you want to?
I had a whole bunch that I could talk about, but I can't remember half of it now, except the Keenan McCardle thing's got me going. I'm waiting to see what happens with that. Well, of course, McCaffrey's expected to play now. I think that was just, you know.
Yeah, they got to put that on the reports for league rules. They got to put that on the report, but you know, everybody's going to be playing. I mean, you're banged up anyway this time of year, so you know, this is nothing. They'll be fine. Like I said, for the
Oh,
Niners,
Milano's replacing TJ Watt in the Pro Bowl. If that means anything to you. Matt Milano, he's replacing TJ Watt. So is that a real good replacement? I mean, Milano played well, but come on, that's TJ.
yeah, but I mean, it's not a game though. We're just having skills competition. I mean,
Well, TJ's the All Pro anyway, and Milano's not going to get that designation. He's just going to be a Pro Bowler, right? So
okay. Well, I mean, what do you think of this? Do you like this change? I mean,
I do. I did never liked any of the games. There's not a single. The only game I actually kind of liked was the one where Ray Lewis went out there and said, "We're going to play a freaking game this time. We're not going to play around." And they went out there, and there was injuries and shit, of course, but they were hitting hard. It was like a real game, and that was it. And I think right after that game was when they started making all these changes a lot too.
yeah, yeah, but I kind of like it actually. Like, let's do something different. I mean, we've not. Last year was terrible. I mean, let's just call it. I turned it off after the first quarter. I was like, done. You know, it.
I like the skills competitions, and I like them with a little bit of humor around too. I mean, like last year, Tyreek Hill was hilarious, man. He was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the other what was it, a few weeks ago. I don't know if I told you, but I was on YouTube watching those skill competitions from the '90s, late
Yeah.
'90s.
Oh, they were real. Marino and them.
Oh my
Marino
God, yeah,
against
Peyton
Elway
Manning,
and
yeah, going. Oh my God, dude, those were funny. Guys, if and girls,
if you watch those old skills competition, you'll understand why Marino is so respected because he walked in there and just tore those guys up in the skills competitions. He just boom, 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 walked through there. And we're talking about Elway and all the greats of the time right then, man. And Marino would just walk in there like king crap. You know what I mean? He's like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, give me my trophy. He was so precise. He was such a great. People don't understand how great a passing quarterback Marino was, man. He that arm of his golden.
Marino was ahead of his time. If he just had a running game,
Yeah, and
well,
more than two receivers. What route you going to run this time, Hollywood? I'm going to take an out route. Okay, that's the only routes you guys know. As hard as it was to defend them, it was still hard to beat them, though. You know?
Yeah.
He found out when until they hit Montana.
Yeah. He only made it to one Super Bowl, I think, right?
Yeah. That's went straight downhill.
Yeah, but
Don Shula was stubborn, and then Jimmy Johnson came in there, and he was stubborn as well. He didn't use his weapons right there.
Oh no!
And that was what Marino was with him for about a year, maybe two tops before he retired.
He just said, I had enough. Like,
yeah.
Hall of Fame career, I'm good. But he'll always have isotoner gloves and Ace Ventura. So, God bless Mr. Marino.
Ace Ventura, that was a good one.
Oh man. So Olga says, I'm good. Thank you, Johnny. All right. Olga is.
Wasn't he even in something about Mary too? Oh, that was Brett Favre or somebody.
Yeah, that was Brett Favre. And this is a good transition here. Speaking of Brett Favre with the Jets, remember that?
Yeah.
You have another Packer going to the Jets. There's been a lot of talk. I mean,
are you talking about the GM or the OC?
No. Well, okay, let's start with that. Former Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett is now the OC for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Well, where was he in 2021 and then Packers offensive coordinator?
That's what put the glue together for Brett Favre's talk and shit. And then that show with the kicker.
McAfee, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I can't say his name. I can't remember his name. He's a kicker.
You and your kickers, man. I don't get it.
Well, I liked Pat McAfee when he was playing.
I know. You just hate kickers. I get it.
I do. I do.
It's okay. Well, and except Justin Tucker. Now, you love Justin Tucker, right?
Justin Tucker's a game winner. And Adam Vinatieri is a game winner. Those two guys are not kickers. Those guys are football players.
Okay.
I mean, how many kickers do you see fighting with their coach to get out there and kick a field goal from 60 yards?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I don't get it. Last year, Baltimore could have done that, but no.
Yeah, they could have.
I wanted to go for two in a couple of games.
Roman.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't know. Can you realistically see that happen? Rodgers to the Jets.
I could see it if you stop and just wipe away the green JETS from your mind and look at the actual team with Robert Sala there and that team that they've got built. I
Yeah.
could see Aaron Rodgers going there because he's always wanted weapons, and they got weapons, dude.
Garrett Wilson. Yep.
Yep.
Brees
They
Hall.
got a running Bruce Hall, yeah.
Yep.
They got a running game. They got offensive line. They got great offensive line. They got good defensive line. They got sauce,
Sauce. They got the sauce to go.
a little bit of sauce on it for you.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Although Gardner did kind of slow down a little bit toward the end of
Yes,
the
he did.
year. I think he probably hit a rookie wall. It
Well, a
happens.
lot of it is they quit throwing at him too. They say, okay, let's stay away from this kid.
Yeah, we don't
He-
want little Revis to.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was on a record-breaking pace at the beginning of the season. Then they stopped. Oh, let's stop. Yeah, let's run your route over here.
Yeah, there you go. Well, speaking of
Disrespect
rookies,
a little bit.
rookies of the year. I mean, I'm still going to go with Hutchinson. I think he had an overall great year.
Well, we got to support our Lion buddy. So yeah, I'm going with Hutchinson. I liked Hutchinson in Michigan too. So
Mr. Alex Loosemore, by the way, he is
Yeah.
a Lions fan, and damn, if they just had one more game, regular season game, they could have made the playoffs. But
if they hadn't have lost to Seattle early,
well, that's right. That was I think that was like the 48 to 45 game where
Yeah.
it just went back and forth. And we also talked about draft last night. We did our first mock draft, which was pretty
Fun.
interesting. Fun.
I didn't even get close to my Bucks pick. I got the Bucks taking a linebacker actually.
Well, it's funny you say that because when I did mine, I had Brian Branch, same you did.
Really?
Safety, yeah. Because all the good offensive tackles are going to be pretty much.
That's what I was just saying on Stevie's show, him and AB,
Mhm.
and they had Salty Buck on there, and I was just in the chat though, but I was commenting about that. They said something about Jensen. I said, be careful what you want with Jensen, man. Be careful what you do with Jensen because you're not going to have the money to go out and get a center of his quality to put in that line. We saw what happens when Jensen's not in that line, when he wasn't in that lineup this year. All right.
Oh, yeah.
He is the attitude of that team. He's the Warren Sapp on the offensive line. Okay. Now, at our draft position, it's going to be hard to find somebody of that quality. So be careful what you want to do with Jensen. If you get rid of him, then you might pay the price for that one.
I think okay, I didn't see the show, but I'm sure their reasoning was probably for financial reasons.
Financial, yeah.
They want to get that cap down to where they can.
There's other ways to do that. People are going to restructure contracts this year. Well, at least Mike will probably do it again. When he leaves, when he retires, they're going to owe him $10 billion, man. So
he's been too good for us. He's been too good to us. I mean, and I will say, listen, as far as the Bucks, why we talk about them, this is going to be Jason Light's first real test without Brady. We got to understand that
we don't know that we're without Brady. I mean,
well, I'm saying
even if he retires, he's still hitting our cap, man. So
right, but I'm just saying, it's going to be interesting to see how he does because he's only had one winning season without Brady. So, people will say, well, it was Brady that helped Jason Light, which it's hard to argue, but I think they helped each other. So,
well, look at the draft picks Jason brought in. Although, Marpet is an interesting thing. I think he's graduating.
Oh, is
Maybe we could lure Marpet back. That would be fantastic if we could do that.
Yeah, I hope.
Because we went out to get his diploma. I think he's getting it this year, or he's already got it. And it would be nice if he did, and we could actually lure him back. That would be beautiful, man.
Now, do we still? Well, how many years did he have left on his deal? Like before he retired.
He just signed a contract. Remember, he just come off his rookie deal and signed a contract. So I don't really know. I have to look it up, man.
Okay.
And I can't do that right now. My eyes are bad right now today. I can't see shit.
I mean, it's getting late. I understand that. Uh, dare I mention from Olga? She says, dare I mention if Brady is sorry mention Brady staying or not?
See, he's an enigma wrapped in a corn dog. I don't know what to do with Brady. He still had the passing yards, but he does not. I don't think he's playing well with the offense. I think he just throws out what he wants. I mean, what he don't want, and just keeps what he wants, and then whether it's working or not, he panics when there's a pass rush, and he's always done that. But it's getting worse now because he's lost 15, 20 pounds, something like that.
That's the big story. Yeah, I mean, obviously you could tell. I mean,
Yeah, we could tell all year long looking at him, man. He lost that weight. He isn't maybe so he came in third in passing yards, but he didn't. He got 40 touchdowns, but look at where they came. You know,
well, that too, and Johnny, when you're throwing the ball 50 plus times a game,
that's
I mean,
another thing. That was another one of my gripes, man. It's like it's the team couldn't put together, couldn't decide this year whether they were going to commit to the run or short passing yard play or air it out. It's like they were only half committed to anything we did this year. They didn't commit
right.
to anything. And that's not how you can run an offense. You cannot do that. You have to commit to one or the other. That's why we got great spurts from Lenny, which he's still, to me, one of the best weapons on our team because you see what he's done in the last 3 years. And even this year with his not just his running game, but with his passing reception, his receiving game. Lenny's an absolute weapon, but they never committed to that. They never committed to the long ball, although they kept trying to run Evans out there, kill him, just running wind sprints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Hey,
never giving the ball because Brady's throwing the ball away in 2 seconds.
here's a comment from Olga saying, "Sounds like Brady lost the locker room." Just saying.
I think he lost the fan base, a lot of it.
Do you think he lost the locker room though, or some of it?
I think he lost some of it, yes.
And this is what bothered me too this year, Johnny. The disconnect between him and Mike Evans. I never understood it. Like
Brady did not come into the building and start working with the guys like he normally does. He at no point in this season was he Brady. He was just another guy in there at quarterback.
I don't get it with Mike Evans. I mean, he's your best receiver.
Or Godwin.
Well, he's your go-to, but he was throwing the ball more to Godwin than
because Godwin's running them short routes. And even when he was hitting Mike Evans, he's hitting Mike Evans in the short routes. He would throw, if he saw Mike out and a guy on close coverage with Mike, he would throw to Mike to try to get the flag because he knew he couldn't hit him. Not in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's a shame because
remember, a 4.3 is a really good 40-yard dash, okay? If you're throwing the ball away in 2 seconds, you're only throwing it 15, 20 yards down the field at the most.
The previous 2 years, that connection was there. I mean, they'd go to him every time.
Well, I go back to offensive line with all of that because that's where Brady panicked at, is the offensive line.
Yeah.
And if he'd have got there early enough and worked with them guys individually like he always has done in the past, he wouldn't have been as worried. I think we'd have had a whole different Brady then.
Yeah, I mean, it started with Marpet's retirement.
Yep.
I mean, I think that was the very first dominant.
Kappa going to the Bengals and heading for his second Super Bowl run? Second Super Bowl run. No, he was there last year, wasn't he? No, he wasn't. He was with us last year.
Yeah, he was with us last year, and then he signed as a free agent with Cincinnati, and he's out this weekend. So hopefully, if the Bengals get to the Super Bowl, he could be able to play.
Right.
But that's a shame because he is a good guard. I mean, one of the better ones.
I don't know. There was a lot of hatred for Kappa there with the Bucs fan base. I never knew where that was coming from, man. He's not that bad a guard. He's a great guard. With Kappa, Marpet, Jensen, Donovan, and Wirfs, we had the number one friggin' offensive line in the fucking NFL, man. So what would they criticize them so much? Now you can criticize because without those guys, look where you're at.
Right. Okay, Chris Cole says, how about them asking the candidates in the interviews how they would build an offense around Brady? Oh, they are doing that, I'm sure. I mean, they got to prepare, in case Brady does say, yeah, I'm coming back.
What makes you think that they don't ask? I mean, how he's had the run of the house since he's been here. He writes the playbook up with the offensive coordinator. Okay, so what makes you think that they haven't went to Brady and said these things?
Yeah, I
What
mean,
makes you think that his offensive scheme is shit? Okay,
yeah. I mean, it's a good question, but yeah, I mean, they're going to ask. He's still there.
sometimes great quarterbacks don't turn into great offensive minds when it comes to actual play calling.
Just, I don't know. What do you think about Leftwich? I mean, it wasn't the right thing to do. Get him out of town.
I think it had to be done. I don't, as far as whether it was the right thing to do or not. I don't think kind of like Jason. He never got his chance until he did. I don't think Leftwich is ever going to get to show what he can do until he does. I mean, he won't be going to Steelers now. They're going to keep Canada,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but maybe he gets in there as a assistant or something, and that might help him out.
A quarterback's coach or something like that.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, Mike Tomlin will make him. Mike Tomlin likes Leftwich. They talk about him here all the time on friggin' radio shows.
Yeah, that's right. He was there for many years, and he's got that experience with Bruce Arians as well. So, when he was there. Let's see. Olga says, hell yeah, we did. Nice. And Chris says, I was saying they are. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the clarification, Chris. Oh, man. So we both got the Niners and Bengals. So Scott Thaler has the Eagles and Chiefs to, poke the bear a little bit in there.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anybody else want to give their predictions? Feel free to put it in the comments. Let's see. We got another comment here from Olga again. Todd Monken, thoughts? What do you think about that one? Georgia's OC. He was here before.
He's there. Georgia's on a run, and I think he's going to run that table out. Honestly, I don't see him leaving Georgia right now. You can look at it two ways. He's a hot commodity right now.
Yeah.
And if they go out there and shit the bed next year, sorry, Anthony, I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. If you're out there anywhere or you listen to the show, I'm not saying Georgia's going to crap the bed. So don't have an explosion there. But if they do, then his stock goes way down, right?
Yeah.
So from the business point of view, I think he should take the job. I think but he's being offered. It's not just the Bucks looking at him either,
Right.
So I wouldn't mind having him here. It's a different scheme than we run, but I think he could fit pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think that scheme would transition to our team very well too, with the right players. Like that, we need those trenches, man, fulfilled.
Well, yeah, where it starts no matter what. I mean, you got to build around that. So,
do I think that he's going to? I don't really think he's going to. I think he's going to run out that make another championship run with Georgia and see what they do.
And that's fair. I mean, I think Georgia will probably win another national title. I mean, they might be the first team that's repeat. I don't think we've ever had a three-peat national champion in college football.
No, but we've said that about Alabama so many friggin' times too. I'm not even. If it happens, it happens, and I'll be right there going, yeah, just to see the three-peat.
Yeah.
But until that, I'm not going to get excited about that because we've seen some really strong teams do that same thing before and just fall apart for whatever reason the next season.
Right.
And to fall apart, it only takes a couple of games to lose to be out of it,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everybody, we are going to wrap this baby down. I want to thank everybody tonight for commenting on the show.
Wait. No Final Four updates?
No, not yet. I mean, right now we got New Mexico up 74 to 68 on Air Force right now. It's a pretty close game. So good stuff in the Mountain West Conference. I'll do my basketball show. I'll try and do one tomorrow.
Or on NFL Edition when we're talking football, right? that was my little shot.
Oh, wasn't that fun? I like just hit those little college basketball, comments and just to. Oh, there's Olga. She says,
Thank you, Olga.
Thanks, man. And thank you, Olga, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate the support as we're trying to grow this Ben Zone group.
Tracy sends her love too, Olga.
Right, nice. All right. So, with that being said, I want to thank Mr. Johnny Dean for joining me tonight. Appreciate you coming on, man. We gave our picks, we gave our thoughts on not just the championship games, but some other stuff going on. Oh, wait, we got another comment there. Olga says, sorry, late to the show. Love you, Tracy. Nice. Good stuff there, Olga. Appreciate that. Chris Cole says, will Michigan ever win? Was that a national title or?
They can. They're bringing everybody back. They're making a shot for it. So,
I mean, Jim Harbaugh's back. I know Alex.
That's another thing, Georgia. Don't underestimate what Michigan's doing. Jim Harbaugh's determined to take that title, I guess. So, watch your back, because when he gets determined, look what happened to Ohio State there.
Yeah, well, Ohio State almost prevented Georgia from winning a second straight title. Mr. Ruggles would have made that field goal.
Yep.
Who knows?
Oh,
Kickers. Yeah.
Kickers.
That's why you hate them.
That's exactly why I hate them.
Oh, man.
No, I'm going to tell you about kickers, dude. Let me tell you about kickers. While you're out there busting your ass, doing scares and shit, man, this guy's over here playing with a ball. Kicking it around, playing around like it's a soccer ball and shit. No, screw that shit. You're not a part of my team. Go out there and kick the ball. Make it like real football.
He's usually more nicer in private when we talk privately about kickers, but
well,
was it Ray Finkel that did it for you? I
was it just basically that on the Ray Finkel comment from last night, aren't you?
Well, I mean, Olga asked, what is that hat you have on your head, Johnny?
Ford Bronco.
Okay, I put you on this. Go ahead.
She's thinking it's a Broncos hat? No, I couldn't wear that loser team. But I can go back.
When are you going to get that Colorado Buffaloes hat, man? We need some.
I am actually going to buy some of my alma mater's gear finally. After all these years. Thank you, Prime.
Oh man, and he flipped many commits too, man. This guy is on a roll. I cannot
win or lose. He's brought Colorado to the forefront of everybody's mouth. Everybody's talking about him.
That's the key. I mean, look what he did with Jackson State. I mean, everybody was talking Jackson State. Now they're talking about Colorado. Yeah.
It feels good.
Just checking.
I used to tell people about the Buffs, and they was like, "Who?" It's like, oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. They ain't worth the shit anyway.
Well, I mean, they weren't. See, the Buffaloes. It's a shame because they hadn't been great since the Cordell Stewart days and the Rahant Salam days. Talk about early '90s success. They went into Michigan one year and upset them in the Big House. So, thanks, Olga. I appreciate the comment there. I like your hat. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a badass hat. I like that Bucks hat. Except the flat. I don't like the flat brim things. I can't wear them. I got a bunch of them that's hanging up, but I don't wear them. I can't wear them. It's too awkward.
Gotcha. I love this hat, man. This is probably one of my favorite Bucks hats. I
had a straw Corona Buccaneers hat one time. The cowboy hat. That shit was the best hat I ever had, man. I could shape it any way I wanted to.
Oh man, those are nice hats.
They are.
All right. Well, everybody, I want to say once again, thank you for tuning in tonight here on Have At It. We had a good time here. Again, thank the Professor Johnny Dean.
I was looking at the countdown. 1 minute, 30 seconds now. There you go. Hit your 1 hour mark.
Right in the 1 hour mark. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get to that.
I called slicking them wimps for going only an hour and a half. Jeez, dude.
All right. And Olga says, go Bugs. Great show. Appreciate that, Olga. Really do.
Thank you.
Come back on anytime, man. When we have these shows, man, just come on, comment, tell us how you feel, tell us anything you want. to an extent, because we know what happened.
NFL Edition, you can come on and tell us anything you want. It don't matter. We don't have very few limitations. We were no limitations at one point, but we had to limit some.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody, we call it stolen identity. We just
Somebody had to come and ruin that shit, didn't they?
yeah. And who was that dude yesterday? Some guy named Chip.
You know who that was. You know who that was. He was not sneaking. You know that was Jason.
Okay, you think that was him then trolling again?
100%, man. We blocked him.
Fair enough. Yeah, by the way, yeah, we didn't have any comments from anybody, so that's good, I guess. So in future reference, we see anybody named Chip, was
Or
it
Jason.
Douglas or Jason? Yeah, anyone like that, just block. All right, well, Johnny, we're gonna take off, but man, great show tonight. Thank you for coming on, and we will see you guys next time. So enjoy your night, enjoy your weekend, and enjoy the games.
It was fun, man.
All right, man.